Good afternoon. Welcome to Options Center. It is Friday. Welcome, everybody. Friday, September 6, 2024. We're going to go through SPY on multiple time frames, and then we're going to go through QQQ, IWM, SMH, and the VIX on the 65. Okay, so we talked about yesterday the bears being in control unless they get over a certain level. And that definitely played out today. We're still holding on to our swing puts until, this is very typical for Mondays to be a continuation of Friday. So I think that going into Monday, we are going to have a little bit lower to go. And by a little bit, it is very volatile. The VIX is spiking up. So it could be another 10 points in the SPY. And I'll show you when we get to the lower time frames. And we're doing these videos intraday, and we're gonna do these at a slower tempo. So if you don't have time, please zoom through this at 1.25 or 1.5 speed. And if you want to get these videos intraday, consider becoming a supporter, 99 cents. And also we did a video on GameStop today. If you want to join the individual analysis, I think it's $3. And if not, the market analysis will come out at 4 p.m. for the public anyway. So no big deal. Appreciate all the support you guys have. Let's jump into it. We have SPY on the 2000 top here, the monthly time frame, 2021 top, and we're forming a top here in 2024. So far on the monthly time frame, we're getting a reversal. Clearly, we need to get below the low here for that to happen, and also the 8 EMA. So we're in a bullish posture. Momentum is up, so we have to just abide by the higher time frame. I do believe that we could test this 8 EMA. That also is the consolidation area here, and I do believe that we can make all-time highs. I think this is very typical of the 2021 top that I've been talking about. I know that I flip-flopped on that. I know that I wasn't sure throughout some of this play, but this is what price action is telling us now. Okay, now we might not get as volatile, as steep as pullback, but we'll show you what I think. Okay, I think this is very clear that it stayed above the 8 EMA, even in the monthly time frame, came back above it, very similar to here, and then broke down, finally over and over, wrapping around it, and then got stuck under it. Okay, and then finally made some market structure to get it back above it to continue the momentum. I do think this is a major top, and so when we get back under it and hold under it, I believe that it's going to take time to get under this 20, the trend indicator as well, the trend moving average. So this is a high time frame, lots and lots to happen before then. So let's move down to the weekly. On the weekly time frame, it is possible. Do we go test up these new highs here? It's possible. I'm not really looking for that. I'm looking out to eke out a new high here. What's happening is that I think that we might be, and this could be impulsive too, so we could test the highs. It could go much higher, but my guess is that we're going to look for a 1, 2. We're getting into the 20 week moving average, so we'll probably get a reaction and close here today. Probably won't move any further, but we may gap down for Monday and then get right back on top of it by Tuesday, Wednesday kind of action. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for, this to hold one more time as we continue to trend to the upsides. Our trend indicator momentum is down. Clearly, we were getting below it yesterday, so we talked about the bears being in a bearish position. We weren't sure if there was a gap up from the employment data or whatnot, but clearly we couldn't get back above it, so we came down here. So in the long term, and this weekly time frame, if you're new here, we already hit our second and final target. We retested that very quickly. V-shaped recovery. Was not looking for that to happen, but since it did, now we're looking into this being our playbook, where we made a high, came down, tested that 20, and just V-shaped recovery, and then had a sharp fall once again, and then lift off back to new highs. Not very much high after, and couldn't hold, and then started the mini bear market there. Okay, so into the next time frames we have here on the weekly, we're looking at about September 10th, and then I think that says the 18th. So we'll be looking at these being some sort of time relationship. I don't think this is happening now. It's very corrective. This still is a possibility, but this is very corrective, this move, and I'll show you on the lower time frames why. So we'll have to adjust these. I think we get a little bit lower, but ultimately, I think the playbook and what we're going to continue to look at, no matter what happens here, and we talked about this in many videos, 520, that's the 23.6 retracement. If we get under the 520 and hold under it, we're going down to the 382. And that will be our next objective long to see if, this market, this is an actual deep wave 4, which is typical for a wave 4, and then a new high. So we'll see what happens here, but I think all this is starting to come to a conclusion here. And we'll test the breakout zone, and we'll look for the next target now into this time frame. So these are weekly time frames. So it could be a week and then 2 weeks. So maybe we get our wave 3 up to 1010, and then around FOMC or so. I don't know. This is what we're gonna have to decipher. It's way too far out at the middle of October for us to see where that's going to be. So we'll be looking at FOMC coming up here at 9/18. That's just 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks away, and we'll go from there. So I don't know where these are going to be at. I don't have, if we're down here, if we're up here at the time, then I think this is the play that's going to play out. And as I say always, it's where price is into that time frame. So if we're lower in that time frame, if we're lower and into the time frame, or maybe we come up here first, maybe we make our high and then we have a sharp pullback, then we'll be looking for at least a bounce or something, a good low to happen there. So not sure where this is going to be yet because of the changes that have been made. Let's see if we can look at the daily time frame, see if we can work out something a little bit more. Clearly, I'm doing this on the fly because I'm working this out with you. I like doing this. I like to figure it out on the video and not do everything beforehand. This was something that I put here just a while ago. I had it from the top here, assuming that we'd make a new all-time high. That didn't happen. But we had a reversal here. So that changes. And I put this arrow here yesterday saying that we need to get it back above 555 on this 8 EMA. And the 8 EMA pushed us back down here. So we're trending. The momentum is to the downside. And we have a good support here at about 540. And we're at that right now. I do think we get some sort of reaction off of it and a consolidation. Perhaps Monday is a consolidation day, or we gap up on Monday and then gap and crap. That's possible. But this is our final target in this time frame. That has not changed. This is where our swings were, and it's where we're going to continue to hold probably into Monday. We'll see how long those, but our swings are out to Friday, so we have plenty of time left on those. So anyway, this is a downtrend line here. Not a great one. We only have 2 tags there, but gapped over, so I guess that's saying it's important. And then we have great support in this area. One's resistance, and this is the breakout zone for this move here. and a downtrend line. So we have confluence there, and that's about we'll call it 5:30. Sometime this week if we get down there in this time frame, depending on where the trend line is, about 5:31, 5:30, 5:32. And we'll see why we have those levels there as well. So 5:31. So we have some time references here. So we have a top at 9.6. That was significant, so we can hide those. We had a top here today and a sharp move down. Okay, so 9/11 is our next one on the daily time frame. So maybe going into Tuesday, Wednesday or so, we can have a low coming in here. And that would be the 531 would be the area we're looking at for time and price into about 531. It's a 62% retracement of this move. And now that we had this sharp move down because we didn't know if we're going to go straight up from this point at the 50-day moving average, now we can change our structure here. And this can be the roadmap that we, so long ago thought we were going to do anyway, but there was no way of proving that. This is the 2022 action. And we can go down to the 786. I'm not saying that this is over coming into the 62. We can still come lower, and that would be more like the that'd be more like the 2022. So maybe we get a good low here into the 12th or 11th. It gets some sort of bounce, and then a drop back to the 52. 520, excuse me, which is the 786. So, anything could happen, but we're getting our move here, and it looks like this one is going to be our low here. But at least that's a good spot to start scaling into longs with plenty of, and we already put in a NVIDIA long. I was a little premature on that, but we have plenty of time for that to play out. And we'll be looking to scale into some individual names on the way up. So here's a roadmap. Sorry, I got off track here. 1. And this is the high, in my opinion, here. And I'll show you that in the lower time frame, what kind of structure I think happened. So 2. And that wave 3 should happen here pretty sharp. Pretty sharp move, whether it's an ending diagonal or an impulse wave. We'll be looking for a nice sharp move up here. That move could come a little bit shy. If it's like 2021, could come a little bit shy of this 127. This would be an important point here for us, is the 127 retracement of this move here. If we get there in one move, then it's still possible to hit this 162 retracement all the way to 600. But as of right now, I think with the divergences that happen, I think this would be a pretty good stop. I think we might stop just a little bit short of it for wave 3. And if it's a playbook like 2021, we get a slight pullback, and it could even cross over wave 1. That would be even better to say this is an ending diagonal. And then get wave 5 over here. So 1, 2, 3, maybe losing momentum. 3 is shorter, but it can't be the shortest. 4, and then a short wave 5 into this. So this all could be just a shorter level. That's how it was in 2021. We had this here. So this what we mapped out some time ago. 1, 2, sharp move for 3. This did not get an all-time high, just eked below it, just like we did this time. Sharp move down, it made it down to the 786 and held. So it's still possible if this is the playbook. And then didn't quite hit that 127, got a pullback, didn't cross over here, doesn't have to. 3, 4, and 5. Just eke out that 127 retracement. And we had our move down. Didn't even come close to the 162. So once you get divergences playing out and losing momentum, things like that, that's when you typically don't make it to that 162. But it's still possible. Not, I'm not saying it can't do it, but we will not be looking forward to this next move up to 580 being and then 200 more points in the S&P, 20 points in SPY. We'll have to put on some call protection, but we'll be looking for a reversal here at 580. Okay, this move could continue down here lower. Clearly, we have the 50%. If we get down to the 50%, that's the 537 area. That's a 100-day moving average, and I think we'll see either where we're at now or there, maybe a little wick. I think we'll see a reaction off of that. Let's go to the 65. On the 65-minute, here's our retracement. Here's the box that I drew on yesterday. We didn't even get to the box. Pushed down, I was drawing a wedge. Wasn't sure if this wedge was going to play out. It actually had a fake out this morning. And we had the measured move. I'll remove all this stuff. We had the measured move, that tag there on the 200 moving average. And so we had a reaction off there. So I wasn't sure if that was it. And so we played some calls in Tesla, and those didn't work out, but our swings south here are working out well. And we're to this support area that I drew in some time ago. We're to that support, and you can see wicks down lower than that. So it can easily make it to that 537, which is our 50% retracement, and get back above it. Or maybe it uses it as resistance here. Maybe we get below here by the end of the day at the 537, and then we make our wave 4, small wave 4 underneath it, and can't get back above it, and continue down here to 530 zone. So I do think we hit the zone, and then I think we have a pretty sharp move going into FOMC. I'm not sure if FOMC comes earlier for this move, if we have to build some sort of market structure, and then FOMC is a catalyst to get up there further with the cut. I think they're going to cut. Everybody thinks they're going to cut here at the September FOMC, or if we just zoom up there into FOMC. So it doesn't really matter. If we're not at our target yet, we'll be looking at FOMC being volatile and gets us to that target. If we're already at that target by that time frame, then I think that I think this will be a good reversal zone, and we'll put on some call protection in case it wants to do something really wild and go up to the we'll put some way out of the money calls to 600. All right. And that's about it. We'll be looking for a reversal here with some call protection. We'll see where we are in this move up here. Could be all the way out to this time frame here, and that would be later. That would be almost to October, and we'll be looking to see what happens in there. And if it takes us this long to get to certain spot, then we'll look for the catalyst FOMC to give us a pop and then probably drop. All right, that was the majority of our video. So let's zoom through what everything else should look like. And with the Qs, we said that we're going to get down here to, at minimum, we're playing here at minimum our puts. I just released the video, so you can check that out. Our strikes were here at 445. So this was a good resistance, support, and then resistance and a breakout zone. So that would be a good spot for us to take off some profit. And I didn't talk about this in SPY, but this is very important. So I think whether we get our stop here or if it makes it down here in SPY and the Qs, we had our correction here, and we talked about this structure not being finished. This is a 1, 2. This is a flat pattern inside of there. So 1, 2, wave 3 and we got an ABC, another flat for wave 4. Couldn't get back in this flag. We had a flag that broke down, back tested, couldn't get back above it today, and that's where the breakdown became furious. When you have breaks like this, that's why they move so quick, because everybody gets loaded in and then they have to get out really quick. So we had our moved here, but notice that we made a new structure here. So this is an extension. We didn't make it low, so that we didn't make a low here. That would have been, if we would have traveled up from that point, it would have said that we had some sort of wave 4 inside of there. You couldn't really see. But after this move here for the correction, we didn't make a new low. So that was a clue that we had lower to go. All right. We needed to get under this low here to finish this market structure. And now we're having an extension, because this could be a wave 1 here, or it could have been the wave 5 to complete, but it didn't complete. So that's a wave 1, pull back for wave 2. We're in wave 3. I think wave 3 can continue a little bit more. It doesn't have to. Maybe we get our wave 4 here and then wave 5. All right. So wave 5 could end here. Today will be a good day to see if we get our wave 4 soon. So if we dropped here by the end of the day, I think we might even gap up Monday and continue the drop lower. We'll have gap support underneath here. And then we'll have, let's check out our zones for our retracements. But notice that we have FOMC onto that target there. And this is our time frame here, the 12th. It's kind of like this time frame to get a low in here. And FOMC. So again, we're not looking for a new high in the Qs. We're looking to close this gap, possibly. And so that can be out here if it needs to be, depending on where FOMC is. Maybe it's near this top here, and then maybe it zips us up to close this gap. So let's look at the other point of view. We had our retracement to 382 from this top to bottom here. The 382 is typical for wave 4. That was complete. That gave us another clue that this was a wave 4 and we needed to go lower. So we can get rid of that. We're coming into the 447. And so that's the breakout zone. So that's where we were talking about. It could go a little bit lower by the end of the day. And if it gets there by today, I think it's very possible that we break down to the 786, which is a 436, get to almost the close of the gap. And we'll have a bottom here, maybe even close this gap with a spike. So we'll have to be careful what happens here today, because if this is a wave 4 and we get that wave 4 and we kind of test back up to the 50 or so, or wherever it needs to go, it's probably pretty small, and just ekes out a brand new low into Monday, that could be the end. It could be this 447, and then we start going higher. We have other clues to look at, such as NVIDIA, to see if NVIDIA is hitting lows as well. And we'll look at SMH in just a minute. So this could be our low here if Monday is pretty dramatic, that we get some sort of wave 4 here. If we tag this 62 today without a finish of market structure, then I think we will probably have a wave 4 going into Monday, and that we'll see much lower here, an extension of this move down to 786. And that would be down here. And then we will probably have a sharp move to the upside here in tech, and that will be wave 3 for SPY, but this will be the wave C for the tech sector. And it could stop at the 786. We don't know that. But I think it's more likely that the gap closes if we get that high before entering into a bear market. Otherwise, this gap will be left open for quite some time. So we'll probably scale into our shorts, our long dated shorts way down here, and then have the short-term call protection here. And when we get so far into a bull market top, you'll see, that's why we did the GME video. You'll see that a lot of these meme stocks will start going, and all the hype, everybody thinks we're going to go to new highs and higher. they will ramp as well. So we want to catch some of that. What else we have here? I know this is getting a little bit long, but I have to go back and talk about something real quick with SPY, and then we'll look at SMH and VIX. Okay, this we posted this yesterday, and this was another clue that we have to talk about. So we already had our divergences. This played out for correction, and I do think we get another divergence for this play, even though it's going to be a longer term divergence that adds on there. I think we're going to get another divergence here. And what we talked about in the post, we got a crossover on the daily time frame, and so this is why this move is so sharp. We're getting a bearish crossover, but we're in bullish territory. We're above the zero, so I think this support line will hold. It could come a little bit below it, but this is essentially it's going to hold because we're already oversold in the RSI. So we don't have to see a positive divergence necessarily in the RSI. Just a deep sell here is fine, and we're already getting to this oversold portion in the slow stoke. So as soon as this starts to curl over, we'll probably be near the bottom here. So I think we have more to go. This isn't quite curling yet, still on the way down. Momentum's down, and I think we'll form some structure here in price action around that 100-day moving average, and we'll start to see this curl up. We'll probably get a lower high, and this will probably have a nice sharp move to the upside to our higher targets, and we'll have a higher high, all-time high here in SPY, and we'll have a lower high perhaps in the MACD, and by then we should be oversold again and oversold up here. So super important. And the same thing with us right now on the shorter term. We're looking at our situation with our MACD and slow stoke. So momentum's down. You see the grind is happening. So far we're holding here for now. We might just have a little correction, and then if we go a little bit lower, we'll see what happens. But we want to form a wave 4 to counteract this wave 2. Okay, but we should also see, as price corrects and then goes down lower, we should see a bullish divergence eventually in this one. Now again, it doesn't have to. It can get much lower and not form a divergence, but at least one of the indicators. So this should move up. We have a downtrend in the RSI, and that should break. And price could be lower as RSI starts to break its downtrend. So we'll be watching this. As price goes lower, this might get a higher low and then start breaking this downtrend. Then we know that we're good to go on a long here, and this should start breaking above the 20 again. This is kind of in a downtrend as well. So I think we might have a low here. We go up when we have our wave 4. We should see probably a retest of the trend line, and then as price goes lower, we'll probably see a higher low here in RSI, and then we'll put our arrow back over here. Bullish divergence should give us a clue, at least on the RSI. Okay, so SMH, and then we'll go with the VIX and close this off. It's a longer video than I wanted, but it's necessary to learn this stuff, especially if you're new. So this one, we're having a sharp retracement here. Now, SMH could start leading us to the upside. Since we're looking at getting new all-time highs in SPY, this could end up being a nice move for us to look for a 1-2 setup here. And then you'll have another downtrend like this. We'll be looking for a inverse head and shoulder. But it's holding so far. Do I think this is done? I'm not sure yet, but it possibly could be. We have our structure here. This was all one structure. We had a correction. Now we have a 1-2. looks like a sharp 3. We had a triangle for a 4. And then our possible last move down here. So that's why I got into NVIDIA. That could start strengthening up a bit while maybe Apple and Tesla or whatever keeps us down. I think Tesla's more likely to lead us up as well. And SMH, I don't think it's going to make new highs. It might. We'll see. I think this is going to lead us lower. So we'll look on this board here and see we could go just a little bit lower to the 211. And same thing with the Qs. So the Qs, maybe we're forming our way 4 here, and into Monday we eke out just a little low here, and we start going higher. We'll see how the day ends, but I still think we have some room left to go here. And if Qs want to go down to the 786, then most likely SMH has some room after this wave 4 probably touches here and then goes lower to the 887. But I think that would be our maximum. Here it can go test the lows. We talked about that at one point. You know, you have a nice trend line here if it wants to come all the way down here and test that out, and it'd be back at the trend line. You have a double bottom there. So anything could happen, but it really looks like this is getting close to resolving itself if it hasn't already. But closing this gap would probably be the best situation at minimum to get that reversal here at the 511 or 211. All right, and that would close the gap with a little wick under it. All right, VIX. VIX was a good clue to continue to hold our shorts, and it hasn't even tagged this area yet. You have the flagpole if it wants to get to the measure move, maybe close the gap. But this was a bull flag that broke out and now looks like it's back testing. And so this, I do think, continues higher. If this wants to ramp higher here, it doesn't have to. It's probably forming divergences already. From this high, it already has. So, I mean, technically this could be over, but I bet we'll see one more divergence here before it ends. And it could almost be over. And maybe it doesn't close the gap yet. Maybe it gets to the gap and reverses. But I do think this is a back test. We might get just a little bit higher. And that might be it. And we'll see where that goes from there. A reversal, maybe even a higher low. I don't know. Maybe it closes these gaps. Not sure as the market goes to get new highs. But I do think this will be giving us clues when it starts getting lower to start getting short on the market. And that's it, you guys. Sorry about the long video. A lot of information there. Thanks for joining us here at Options Center. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll talk to you soon.